afternoon. This is حيدر القصير from the American Canadian Center in Baghdad. Today we are going to talk about one of the most important skills of reading, headings. How to match headings. Matching headings. We do not have time to understand each single word of the passage, simply because we are under time pressure since we have got to answer 40 questions within 60 minutes. What is a heading? A heading is usually, not always, the first or the second sentence of the paragraph. It's also called the topic sentence, and it really outlines the main purpose of the paragraph. So, when it comes to the exam, if you want to try to find the headings fast, it's better to follow a particular search order. When searching for the headings, read the first sentence of the paragraph, then read the second sentence of the paragraph, then decide which heading suits. Usually, this technique works 80 to 90% correctly. Now, let's test our understanding. Let's read a passage about robots. Here we have lists of headings and we have paragraph A. Let's start with robots at work, paragraph A. Let's start our reading. The newspaper production process has come a long way from the old days when the paper was written, edited, typeset, and ultimately printed in one building with the journalists working on the upper floors and the printing presses going on the ground floor. Let's go back to the sentence. The newspaper production process. Here, this sentence talks about the newspaper production process. So, and also how it has changed over the time. Now, let's come to the list of headings and we find which heading matches with this one. Could it be robots at work? Robots working together? I can see nothing here about robots. So, I just take this one out of my choices. Preparing LGVs for takeover. I don't see anything about LGVs, and I don't know what LGVs are here. Could it be looking ahead? It's impossible, because looking ahead means to think of and about the future. The LGV's main functions, I don't see anything here related to LGVs. I don't know what LGVs are, and it talks nothing about functions. Split location for newspaper production. I can see here newspaper, production. So I give this one a high possibility to be the right answer. Let us go on with the others. Newspaper superseded by technology. I can see nothing here talks about technology. Also, this one to be X. Getting the newspaper to the printing center. Getting means transmitting, transferring, moving, taking. I can see nothing here. Any sentence talks about transmitting or getting the newspaper. Controlling the robots, nothing about robots here. Beware of robots means there is a danger because of robots, warning of the robots. So we don't have anything related to robots here. So the only answer here will be 5V, split location for newspaper production. Let's come to paragraph B. Let's read it. Once the finished newspaper has been created for the next morning's edition, all the pages are transmitted electronically from the prepress center to the printing center. Let's read it. Once the finished newspaper has been created for the next morning's edition. This sentence is just like an introductory to the paragraph, and it has nothing to focus on. Let's go on. All the pages are transmitted electronically from the prepress center to the printing center. Here, this sentence talks about transmitting the newspapers. Let's look for a heading which suits this sentence. Could it be robots working together? No. Preparing LGVs for takeover? No. Looking ahead? No. Another LGV? No. Split location, I've already chosen this one, split location, I don't need it. The newspaper superseded by technology. Yes, it talks about a newspaper, but not about technology. It talks about transmitting the newspapers. Getting the newspaper to the printing center? Yes, because getting means transmitting from the pre-press center to the printing center. Now, let's move to the next paragraph. C. A procession of automated vehicles is busy of the new printing center, where the Sydney Morning Herald is printed each day. That's the first sentence. Let me reread it. A procession of automated vehicles is busy of the new printing center, where the Sydney Morning Herald is printed each day. We can see that this sentence gives no idea. It's just an introductory. So we move immediately to the next one. With lights flashing and warning horns honking. With lights flashing, you know when there is a warning, there are lights flashing and warning horns honking. Warning horns, just like doing beep, beep, just like when it happens as we used to see on films about the ships when they have got some warning, or also on planes. So let's go on. The robots. To give them their correct name, the LGVs or laser-guided vehicles. Here we have a sentence between two brackets. As we know in English, each sentence between two brackets, that means they identify the noun which precedes. So the LGVs here is put between two brackets, in the sentence between two brackets, just to mislead you, because we don't need them. The LGVs are just identifying what a robot is. So please, please, and please pay attention to this note. A sentence between two brackets inside a paragraph is just to identify a noun precedes. So if we omit this sentence, I mean the sentence between the two brackets, it will not affect the original sentence or the idea of the paragraph. The robots look for all the world like enthusiastic machines from a science fiction movie as they follow their own random paths around the plant, busily getting on with their own jobs. Let's go back to this sentence. With lights flashing and warning horns honking of this comma means of the robots. That means it's giving us a warning of the robots. So let's come here to the headings. So the list of headings, which one suits? Robots working together. It talks about robots, but it doesn't talk about them cooperating or working together. It talks about robots working among themselves. So this one is an X, we don't need. Preparing LGVs for takeover, we said to cancel the LGV sentence. Cancel it. Looking ahead, it doesn't talk about the future. The LGV's main functions, it doesn't talk about their main function. It talks about them, how they work among themselves. Split location, we've already chosen it and we don't need it here. A newspaper superseded by technology, it doesn't talk about the technology which is used for newspapers. Getting the newspaper to the printing center, we've already taken this one, which means transmitting the newspapers. Controlling the robots, yes, it talks about robots, but it doesn't talk about how to control them. So we have the only heading here is beware of robots. Why? Because beware gives a warning, and here we have with lights flashing and warning horns honking of the robots. And here it talks about the danger of the robots. So the last one, which is number 9IX, will be the right answer, which is beware of robots. Now let's move to the last paragraph. Here, D. The question newspaper workers must now ask, however, is how long will it be before the robots are writing the newspapers as well as running the printing center, churning out the latest edition every morning? Before we answer this paragraph, what's the meaning of churning out? As we said, you don't have to know each single word of the paragraph. Churning out here doesn't affect, and we don't need it. You don't have to know its meaning. Let's come here again. How long will it be? So that means it talks about thinking of the future and about the future. So the right answer here will be number 3, looking ahead. When it comes to the headings, please pay attention that you need to focus on the sentence, and sometimes they don't give you the answer clearly. You need also to focus on the similarities, the idea, which means the synonyms, and also sometimes you have comprehensive sentences, just like which we took in paragraph C about the warning of the robots. Okay, now we have just finished this skill of matching headings. Now I'm going to give you an exercise from the Insights into IELTS, okay, this book. And next week, we are going to answer this exercise together with the explanation. Please, it's about wide consumers. This is paragraph A, and this is the list of the headings. Please focus on it. After that, you will have this paragraph B, and also the same list of the headings. Then you will have paragraph C. After that, you will have paragraph D. After paragraph D, we have paragraph E. Then we have paragraph F. And the last paragraph is paragraph G. As we have seen that we have 7 paragraphs and 9 headings. That means we have 2 extra headings which we don't need. Please remember always that when it comes to the headings, you need to choose one heading for each single paragraph. And the heading you choose, you can't re-choose. Okay, thank you for listening and for watching this video. Next week, God willing, we are going to answer those headings. Thank you.